Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening, and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and you have no way of knowing whether I just sat down in my chair or if I've been in my chair for minutes, although if you all know me, you'll probably know it was the former. But let's see who is hopefully not former participants in the chat. We have, I believe it is Jack68K, who is being covered by my view of the poll. Eric's Edge, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, Everything is Broken Garage Ryan, who showed up on the wrong night because there's no Trident video cards here tonight. I know, what a shame. We have Francois, who is still not sleeping. We have Gut Bomb. We have, let's see here, we have Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack, who will recognize this system. And we have I-8386SX, Jesse! Welcome! Alright, let's see here. Announcements, I got the Coffee Gold Madoodle thingy there. Links in the description. I have a poll going as to what version of PC-DOS I will try to install on the hard drive that was in the system. Hopefully by the fact that I have the hard drive bracket in my hand, you'll realize that we're taking this one piece at a time. I don't even know what size hard drive it is, so there's that. I don't even know if it works. There's that. And, but yeah, I'm running a poll. The poll will close at some point right before I actually need to go put the DOS on the GoTech. Alright, let me move some extraneous stuff out of the way because my workbench still had stuff on it from Tuesday night. Let's see here, and we have, sorry Ryan, you missed the Trident card. You missed the Trident card Tuesday, Ryan, and it actually worked, and it was actually a decent performer. In fact, I think it actually was performing as well as AnonTech said it did, which basically, though, their review of it was like, it does what it says it does and nothing more. Well, it did what it said it does and nothing more, so there's that. Alright, let's see here. Trident Tuesdays. Well, I don't have that many Trident cards. Please, actually, maybe don't send your Trident cards my way. If I have that many Trident cards to have Trident Card Tuesdays, I'm probably in trouble. Anyways, what do I have? I've got an IBM Personal Computer Model 350, it's an IBM Personal Computer 350 Model 6586, I believe it is. So that was the configuration that had 100 megahertz Pentium processor, and I've already made mistakes, and I haven't done a single thing on this stream. So, yeah, we're going to go over what the mistakes were that I made, some of which I'm not sure exactly what my mistake was, but we'll go over it anyways. And, yeah, Ryan says, sending all Tridents now, turn on your fax machine, Justin. Yeah, my fax machine's out of paper, Ryan, sorry. Alright, so, we'll first go over my mistakes, and then we will take a look at the board that I have, and we'll see if it even works. I will let the fine folks from Canada in the chat know that I am hoping that the eBay seller from your country will have rescued this project. Because this silly eBay purchaser here in the United States has made mistakes, so. Alright. Let's see here if I can find the correct anti-static bag. That is not this one. That is the eBay purchase that I haven't opened yet. This is, oh, okay, that's the, we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, here we go. All right. Yeah, oh yes, Jeremy says, this computer brought to us by Computer Reset, yes. Also, one of the things I will do as soon as I can place the order is I was going to get a Computer Reset case badge from Geekenspiel to put on the computer. I know that's probably anathema to put another case badge on an IBM, but it came from Computer Reset, and I want a Computer Reset case badge on it. Gutbomb says, so I had no idea what an IBM PC 350 was until I Googled it before the stream, and now he wants one. Alright, well, they're kind of neat. Hopefully I'll get to the point where I can actually show you what the case looks like. It has one of the little slidey doors that cover the drives. Alright, but let's first go to the motherboard here. And you will probably notice it is in an anti-static bag. And it has notes on it, which is usually a never thing when I have to write notes on the tape on a motherboard. So, yep, here we go. I put the wrong model. I think it's a model 350. I put the wrong model number. It's an IBM 350 socket 5 motherboard from Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. It was actually in the computer. What was the mistake I made? I put this board through the ultrasonic cleaner. Yes, and you're probably thinking, wait, that's not a mistake. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. You probably, bad reaction from ultrasonic clean. Yeah, apparently the first mistake, I didn't realize I was making the mistake. So, but it was a mistake. Unintentional, yes, but a mistake. And the S3 chip, I don't know if it was before or after going through the ultrasonic cleaner, the S3 chip had a floating memory bus. Thanks to Joe for realizing the symptoms, because I had sent him a video because I was like, what's the problem? And the S3 chips are now bent. So we're going to actually take a look at this motherboard, and I will show you what I did. And, well, if you're on Joe's Discord, you might remember me talking about this board, because I was curious as to theories. It was a while ago, so maybe you've forgotten. Okay, Jeremy says it was working when I left it. Okay. Well, that probably means the ultrasonic cleaning did it in. So, the board was working when Jeremy left it, although it was a bit on the dirty side, and I was ultrasonically cleaning a bunch of other dirty boards, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and ultrasonically clean this one too, because I don't see any leaking caps or anything. So I'll ultrasonically clean it, and then it'll look nice, and we're done. So I put it through the ultrasonic cleaner, the same as all the other boards. I think I was doing them 20 minutes per side with the Elmatech A1 that I usually use. Had no idea that I was doing anything bad. Also, I should add, there is a riser card, as you could probably see. I had the riser card in the ultrasonic cleaner at the same time. Now, I realize my camera view is really small, but you probably can see that the riser board is nice and shiny. And indeed, this riser board was in the ultrasonic cleaner at the same time. And you will note, it came out unscathed. There is not a single problem with it. It was dirty too. The dirt was probably sitting on top of the slots. It came out unscathed. This board, though, you're probably looking at it and you're like, something doesn't look right at all. Never mind the fact the S3 chip has not been soldered back on because the pins are bent. So let's zoom into this monstrosity here. And we'll start with the... How about we'll start with the Intel SB82437FX66. And you're probably staring at those pins and going, what happened? Because they didn't look like that when it went through the when I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. There was just dirt there, I thought. I believe that's the south bridge. You'll notice those pins look really grungy. Oh, let's go to the S3 chip here. Ooh. Now, there is flux on this chip from where I floated off the board because I wanted to, like, check it. And then I just promptly didn't clean the flux. But anyways, you can probably see the pins on the S3 chip look just as bad. There's the video memory socket. Most of those pins are black now. I do not know what that is. Oh, there we go. There's the tag RAM. Yeah. There's the cache RAM. There's even the top of the capacitor. There's one of the capacitors. There's the other capacitor. It even, like... I mean, granted, I've seen the Elmatech A1 etch the top capacitors, but... not that bad. Oh, there we go. Here's the, I think these are like the memory and cache controller chips. I mean, you can even see the SIM sockets. I'll zoom out so you can see all the pins. Yeah. There's the, multi-IO chip. I mean, yeah. I want a white one, Chris. It's going on an IBM. After all, IBM white shirts. So, naturally, I want a white computer reset case badge. By the way, Chris, I know you might have sent me something, and don't spoil it by making admissions in the chat. You suspect you'll know what I mean. You can save the surprise if like 2 envelopes show at my house and not 1. Don't spoil it in the chat. Now you probably know exactly what I'm implying. Hey, Chris, welcome. Yes. So this is, well, yeah, that board, I am not, unfortunately, you're probably thinking, all right, we are in for a board repair night. No, you're not. Sorry. Hopefully I was not misleading you into thinking I was repairing this board at least. This board is going back into the anti-static bag of shame because I don't have a video chip. I don't really want to pull another one off a board because all of the other chips look just as bad. Something's up with this board. I don't know what happened in the ultrasonic cleaner. I may never figure it out. Anyways, so that's with this board. So, I went on eBay, the place where I buy things I later regret. And I bought another one. This board has not been through the ultrasonic cleaner. However, the keen-eyed of you will probably notice that there does appear to be a chip missing. And let me see if I can find the original chip in the sus chip bag. I think I did throw it in here. And I will show you exactly why it is missing a chip, if I can find it. Otherwise, we'll have to settle for me describing it. I will go ahead and cut to the chase. The mistake I made with this board was buying it in the first place. I should have moved on and just waited and spent more. But I think this board came from... Okay, I know this board came from somewhere outside the United States. I do not remember which country. it was one of the countries of sellers that I commonly see motherboards listed from, so... okay, maybe I, out of frustration, actually threw the chip away, or it's actually... Or it could be over on the table where this motherboard was sitting. One or the other. Anyways, this board... okay, it's bugging me. Let me see if it's over on the table. Anyways, I'll let you stare at this for a moment. And I'll let you guess in the chat what was wrong with that chip. And I'll see if I think it's setting over on the table over here. So, oh, hi, Joe. Yeah, Joe's late this time. But I'm glad you're here, Joe. You probably heard me talking about you. No, the chip's not over there. But I did realize I should have grabbed the second motherboard. Well, Francois says, but the pads are still there at least. And now I'm totally expecting someone to go, oh, wait a minute. No, the pads are not all there. There is one pad missing. The problem here, which they, I mean, yeah, I could probably fix this, but fixing pads like this aren't my forte. I just kind of, the pad disappeared and I set it to the side out of frustration, and yeah, it's mostly there. The mistake I made was I lifted a pad on this board. That was the second mistake with this board. The first mistake with this board was buying it in the first place. No, the problem with this board, and I didn't see it in the picture because it wasn't really that great, this board had obviously been thrown into a bin with other boards, and for this chip, I think this pad that's lifted might have been one of the pins that were missing, but there were like 4 or 5 pins missing on the chip. It obviously had been struck with the corner of another board or something, and the pins were just like, well, they were detached from the chip. The pins might have been there, but they were either detached from the chip or just completely missing. So, yeah. The first mistake was not seeing that damage in the photo and buying the board. The second mistake was I lifted a pad and then got frustrated because, yeah, I was like, oh, I was like, okay, fine. Because the thing is, I was also not even sure I was going to be able to fix the board. I do have 2 chips somewhere that I bought from a seller in Wytheville, Virginia. So I've got 2 chips somewhere, and I suspect the broken chip is with those 2 chips. Maybe someday I'll try to fix this board. It could potentially be tonight if the third board is a lost cause, but oh, yeah, there we go. I just admitted something. However, let's go back to the first board for a moment, because I forgot that I had another board sitting alongside it. So Jeremy actually left a couple computers with me. And, well, yeah, I was going to show you all that what happened to that IBM board. It actually happened to 2 boards. But the thing is, I cleaned more than the 2 boards. So this one, I know this board worked before I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner because I'd actually had the computer powered up. I even got the BIOS updated on this board to realize that whoever had this computer before it presumably went to computer reset had put the wrong processor in it. It was a processor that the firmware, or the BIOS for this motherboard had no microcode for, so you got a microcode error every time. But yeah, this is Jeremy recognizes this compact board. Anyways, it went through the ultrasonic cleaner too because it was dirty, but I knew it was working when it went in, and it had the same bad reaction as the IBM board. So whatever befell them, I meant to show this board because I was going to show it didn't happen to one board, it happened to two. But the thing is, not the riser board for the IBM, and not the other boards I'd cleaned at the same time. So this board is actually dead. I think it beeps, but you get no, actually I'm not sure it beeps. Anyways, you get absolutely no video output, not even if you put a PCI card in. Unfortunately, I think whatever happened to these leaded solder points on, this is the RAM for the onboard video. Yes, actually, very nice that the integrated video on this compact board actually has dedicated RAM, so it's not eating up your precious DIMM memory. But yeah, I think whatever happened here has probably happened to the solder balls on the north and south bridge. Because unfortunately, this board is, well, whatever happened to the IBM board, it happened to two boards. So yeah, so believe me, have I figured out what's up with the ultrasonic? No, because actually, I've since cleaned other things and nothing bad happened to them. So no, I do not know what happened. I'll probably actually, I may start a Tinker different thread, assuming I didn't already and just forgot about it. But if I did start one, no one's replied to it because I haven't gotten a message. Now, the closest thing that I've had happen, and I guess for a moment you'll have to forgive me for daring to pull such a computer on the bench for December, assuming I have it downstairs. I'm pretty sure I do. I did have one other board do something very similar, so if you'll give me a moment, assuming I can see where I put the system. Okay, I see it. Let me go grab it. Chris will recognize this one. Unfortunately, though, it didn't damage the board. Oh yes, I apologize in advance if you were here for a DOS stream and you were here hoping that no one would dare pull a Mac onto the workbench. I apologize in advance. However, we are not going to look at this Mac other than I am going to show you the closest I've come to doing something like those two PC boards is actually this Mac here. I'll even show the Amazon post-it note because that'll probably now you'll know which thumbnail to look for. Yeah, this is the one from the Herndon haul. I did notice on this board after it came out of the ultrasonic cleaner, if you will notice, other than the fact that there is now a bug carcass in it that was not there when I put it on the shelf. Now I feel obligated to re-ultrasonically clean it. If you will notice, this VLSI chip does seemingly look like some of the pins started to turn dark. However, they did nothing anywhere close to those two PC boards. However, it was a bit concerning when I looked at this board and realized, especially like these pins here, and you can kind of see them here and here and on this side. Now, these two sides here seem to be fine, but here on this side and this side, which I will point out, there are no electrolytic caps anywhere close to these two sides of the chip. In fact, actually, I'll zoom out. You'll see... I'll zoom out a little further. The closest cap, electrolytic caps, that would have been replaced when I recapped it is going to be that one there on this side. But over on this side, it's like there's the three caps right there. Oh, you can't see it. They're on this side right here. Here, here, and here. And here are like the closest caps to that chip. So, yeah. Anyways, there you go. This is the closest I've come to having another board do that same thing. This board, though, does work. I mean, other than the sound amplifier chip's dead, but it was probably dead before I started. So, this is... Francois says VLSI equals Vader's Last Son installment. I think it's a very large scale integration is what it stands for. Anyway, very clever name for their company because, well, very large scale integration is what VLSI stands for, and they use that as the name of their company. But anyways, so, all right, the Mac is going back off the workbench now, because I was just showing you the closest I've seen to that happening on another board. So anyways, after that second board, well, that leads us to this eBay purchase / potential regret here. Let me go take the Mac and put it back where I found it. And then we'll get back on track. Oh, actually, no, I'll just stick it right here. There we go. I mean, granted, that Mac does have my Apple IIe card in it and could run ProDOS, so I guess it was DOScember tangential, but... Alright, so this wonderful eBay purchase here came from, Canada. And it actually cost a lot more than the first board I bought on eBay. But it did actually include the riser board. So I have a spare riser board now. It included the heatsink, but not the clip. Either that or the clip that I found laying on the floor actually was in this bag at one point, which means I'm still missing a clip. And this lovely, I guess technically planar, because I think that's what IBM called it. Yes, another eBay purchase. So yes, the coffee link is in the description. My wallet will appreciate it after these eBay purchases. Because I think this one was like... Gutbomb says, don't put it in the ultrasonic. Yeah, I'm not going to. But I don't need to. It is clean. Or it should be. I mean, look at this. Look at how clean the board is. It even has that same bodge wire that you probably can't see that the other two did. Let's look at that lovely north bridge. And that lovely south bridge, look at that. No corrosion. Video chip, no corrosion. There's the video RAM. There's all the cache. Those chips, a Sunbeam battery, which probably means the Canadian seller replaced it. Yeah. It's even got the labels intact. Yes. I'm not going to ultrasonically clean it, but I suspect this one would actually be fine. It even included a processor, so I can actually test it without having to change the jumper settings, theoretically, because it should be set for that processor, theoretically. But the Canadian seller actually showed it working, so it should actually work. Now, how much did this wonderful planer from Canada cost me? Well, let's see here. Well, it wasn't the lovely price of free like the first computer. And it wasn't like $74 total that I spent on the first replacement board. I think it was like $130 US. So I'm pretty sure the Canadian seller was able to buy like a Tim Hortons franchise or something with what they made on it. Or wait, or did I go the wrong direction? Or were they able to buy a Tim Hortons coffee with what they made on it? I don't know. I get confused in the currency conversion rates of US to Canadian dollars. I'll wait for the Canadians in the chat to first let me know how bad of a joke that was, and then we'll probably secondly point out that, yeah, I think they only got a Tim Hortons coffee or two. Yeah, I know. SOJ, oh, these are the cache chips, so hopefully I won't have to replace them unless they're the smaller cache configuration, then I'll feel obligated to replace them. Yeah, Bob says they got more than 130 Canadian, but probably not enough to buy a Tim Hortons franchise. Anyways, all right. Oh, it had RAM on it too. Oh, it had IBM RAM on it. Oh, look at this. Jesse says, or a tire from Canadian Tire. All right, look at this. This is going to be so much fun. It looks like it has 16 megabytes of IBM memory assembled in Canada from probably global parts, but we could hope that maybe the PCBs were made in Canada too. So what's the bodge wire? I don't know what the bodge wire is, but it is present on all three of the boards that I have. So I believe the bodge wire is an oopsie from Intel, because I think Intel actually made this board for multiple OEMs. Yeah, Gut Bombs confirming they all three had it. Yeah, I think Intel made an oopsie. I don't know exactly where it's going, but I suspect it's probably a missing signal to the flash chip. Oh, yeah, Jeremy has a pair of 32 megabyte IBM RAM sticks. Well, we'll see, we'll see. I don't know how much memory I'll need in this system. The first thing is, I gotta see if it even powers up. Which means, so that I don't have to clean thermal paste off of the heatsink, for the moment, I'm just going to put this blue heatsink on, because IBM is big blue, and they'll never know the difference. Francois says, I bought SOJ sockets in the hope to make SOIC sockets, but it didn't work out. But I did try very hard. Well, I admire your effort. All right, let's see if this thing even powers up. How about that? Yes, Jeremy says, and blue is cool. Eric Sedge says, I've never heard of PC-DOS 2000. Well, I don't want to necessarily sway the survey, but I'll put it this way. IBM PC-DOS 2000 is not a giant leap forward from PC-DOS 7. I think, as the name implies, the main feature of PC-DOS 2000 is Y2K compatibility. So I'm sure hoping that if you already had PC-DOS 7, you got a cheaper upgrade, because So let's see, what's the chat going right? The chat is or the poll is, oh wow, PC DOS 6.3 and PC DOS 2000 are like neck and neck. All right. Gutbomb says, I looked up more pictures of this board and all of them have the blue bodge wire. Yeah, I think they all do. Oh, Jack68K has told me I've voided my warranty. Well, Jack, I hate to say it, but I think I've already voided my warranty thrice over now. Jeremy says, is PC DOS 7.0 a leap forward from MS-DOS 6.2.2? Probably not. I think PC DOS 6.3 is like right after Microsoft and IBM decided to go their own ways for DOS, and I think PC DOS 6.3 was what they called, I think basically Microsoft's next version was MS-DOS 6. So that would have been the version they were working on before they decided to go their separate ways. So actually, MS-DOS 6.2.2 is possibly more advanced than PC DOS 6.3. But IBM wouldn't give it a higher version number just so you think it's more advanced. Now, would they? Hashtag sarcasm if you didn't figure that out. Jack68K says, I don't know how much can happen in 0.78. Yeah. I think they were in a little version number war to make you buy it. All right. One thing I do need to go look up, because I have no idea which is which from the Joe's booting DOS 6.2.2 right now. I need to look at the back of the case and see which one is the keyboard port, because it's not marked on the metal and it's not marked on the board. The keyboard port is not marked on the case either. Woohoo! Oh. Okay, in IBM's defense, I think they did mark it on the case, but the piece of plastic where the marking would have been is broken off the case, so I am going to have to probably guess. All right, let me see if maybe one of these PS2 ports is maybe marked K or M or J8. Oh, one of them. J8K1. Okay. I'm going to take a strong hint that the port marked J8K1 on the silkscreen is probably the keyboard port. And I will plug the mouse into the other one. And worst comes to worst, neither will work. Because I believe the power and ground pins are the same on both. It's the... In fact, I think all the signaling might be the same. I think it's just simply the keyboard port is going to expect keyboard data, and the mouse port is going to expect mouse data. And if it sees the wrong data on both, it will then say keyboard error on boot and sit there and look at you like you're a madman for mixing the two up. And all I have to say is, well, IBM, you could have... Oh. And I had the switch of the power supply turned on, and we have a 1962 error. Well, you're wrong, motherboard. It's 2023. Get with it. Okay, what you missed, because I didn't realize I had the switch on, was this. We have an IBM logo. We have French text. We have an American who does not know French and French text, and I'm hoping there's an option in the BIOS to let me set English, because otherwise I can't read a lick of that. Let's see here. Oh, I can read configuration IBM at the top. Copyright IBM Corporation 1995. Let's see here. Oh, I can read rapid resume. All right. All right. Francois says to go to. Wait a minute. Memory system. Wait a minute. I don't. Eric Sedge says 1962 wasn't a great year. Jack68K says ugh. So there are 1961 other errors too. Yeah. Oh, that was the RAM count previously. Yeah, it was 16 megabytes. Okay. Well, I see a word that looks like system, so that is just simply a summary of what's in the system. Okay, that does not help one bit. All right. Informations sur les produits. Is that informations of the product? Well, I think I got lucky there, because honestly, I do not know. Francois says options de lancement. Boot settings. Whoop. Nope. No, I don't want to. That. Well, that's yes. I know what that is. That says yes. Jesse says, Le Grill? What the is that? Jack68K says, Justin speaks French in a YouTube series. Yeah, it's probably more like Justin speaks French badly and is ushered out of France, Montreal, and Toronto for such a horrible butchering of the French language in a YouTube series. Jesse. Jesse says, English BIOS ruined. Must use French BIOS. Yeah, I think this is my punishment for making mistakes on two boards. That the third board came from... it might have been Toronto. Okay, I am thoroughly impressed. The clock is 2 hours and 7 minutes ahead. An hour and 53 ahead. Or probably in all reality, it didn't set itself for daylight savings time ending. So it was probably an hour. Okay. Would Montreal be in the central time zone? Or would that be Toronto? That's probably where this board came from. And it didn't set itself back for daylight savings time. So therefore, in the couple months I've had this board, it's only off by 7 minutes. That's actually impressive. Someone's telling me to load the new something configuration. Is that second last one? Chargement des parametres par default. Well. Oh, Eastern for both, I believe. Oh, okay. Well, chargement is load. Well, I think the best course of action here is to charge. Joe says chargement is load, telechargement is download. I think I know how to fix this actually. Because I went and found the BIOS update for this board, and I think you might set the language when you flash the BIOS. Which, I have to say, IBM, that is actually a pretty bad design. You have to flash the BIOS to fix it. Now, of course, the problem is, I don't think the BIOS was on a disk image. I think it was an executable I need to run to create one. So, press enter to continue. You could read the help in French. Yes, I could read the help in French. And that is not helping me any. Let me see if I by chance. I'm trying to remember which computer I was on when I finally got the bravery to download the BIOS update for this computer. No matter. I have the BIOS update for this computer. It's on my NAS, which means I need to get it off of my NAS. Which means I should probably just copy it onto a floppy disk and connect a floppy drive to this computer, because we all know my PC hates my thumb drive. I did order a thumb drive, by the way, but it won't be here till tomorrow. And I've got a window in front of the chat. Yeah. Use your smartphone and some app to live translate for you. Yes, I could. Gutbomb says, it saves space on the chip, so they only store one block of language strings. That's probably it. Eric's Edge says, French is the international language after all, well, in the 19th century anyways. I believe IBM did release this computer in the 20th century, though. But to be fair, this probably was pulled out of one that was sold in Canada, so I'm sure the person who bought this computer was appreciative that the BIOS was in French. I, on the other hand, am going to probably end up using an app that I don't want to use to translate the screen, because I don't trust Google further than I can throw one of their data centers, and, well, that would throw my back out. No, I want to use Translate without an account. I will allow you to use the camera begrudgingly, and I want to translate from French to... Oh, there we go. Translate from French to Russian. Yeah, that'll really help me, Google. All right. So, Google. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here we go. Configuration utility is you select an option, system configuration summary, product information, O units and ports. That's weird. Date and hour, system security, launch options, second level configuration, existing ISA resources, rapid resume, backing up settings, restoring settings, loading system, loading default settings, configuration utility output. F1 is help, escape is exit, up and down, it didn't translate, enter is selection. Oh, probably because up and down is abbreviated. Oh, well, that's actually pretty cool. Okay, so... I presume maybe second level configuration? Launch options. Second level configuration. Alright. Warning: the following menu items control advanced hardware functions. If they are configured incorrectly, the system may malfunction. Cache control, copying ROM memory to RAM, PCI, management. Oh, that must be PCI management. Okay, well, that's not language. Yeah, cache, shadow, and PCI. Alright. Yeah, okay, it does not look as if I... Alright, looks like I'll just have to flash the BIOS to get English. That's fine. I have the executable here to do that. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized, no, I don't have to go upstairs and copy stuff to my thumb drive, at least not at the moment. I will when we install PC-DOS. I have a compact flash reader that, speaking of things that look like it came from the 20th century, it's beige. Therefore, it's probably USB 1.0. I do have this compact flash card here with an install of DOS on it. And I'll just copy this executable to the temp directory on the compact flash card. And then I'll hook a floppy drive up to the IBM to create the BIOS update disk. There we go. All right, let's do this. Put the compact flash card in. Let me give the compact flash card power. And then let me plug in the GoTech. I will attempt to do this with the GoTech. It may or may not work, but we'll give it a try. Some of these utilities are, interestingly enough, they, like, freak out when it goes too fast, and GoTechs go too fast for some of them. Oh, I will also try not to set the floppy cable on the... Copy. Oh! I'm going to get, Alright, I was trying to... Oh, trying to see if I've got a blank floppy image on my GoTech. Or maybe a disk image I don't care if I overwrite. Oh, here we go. I can overwrite this one. That'll work. Alright. Alright, let me get to where I can see the chat again, sorry. Alright, let me get live translate up again because there'll be text on the screen I can't read again. Alright, so that is telling me errors after startup. The system detected the following errors when launching Oh, the system detected the following errors during launch from the IBM PC. Configuration has been modified. Select one of the following options. Press the enter key to continue. Well, that makes sense. All right. Oh, hey, micro hobbyist. Yes. I'm getting us back to English. I am not using a French BIOS that I can't read anything without using a Google app because I don't like Google. All right, serial port A and B. It's parallel port. Floppy disk A. Configuration of IDE. Disk 0. Hot tape performance. Well, it looks like it did detect it, so. All right, save. Exit. Oh. Do you want to exit the, yes. All right, let's see if it boots. I mean, if I get my IBM up and running with a IBM logo on the boot, then I'd call that a win. That doesn't look good. Attention, the size of the boot sector has been changed. Oh, okay, the change is planned. All right. Oh, wait, am I booting from the GoTech? Yes, I am. Oh, no. No, 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 no. No, no, nope, 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 nope. We booted from the wrong drive. I can't read French to turn off the virus scanning, so hopefully that doesn't keep happening because I don't know where the virus scanning setting is on this motherboard. There we go. Now we are loading MS-DOS from the compact flash card. I will put the... I'll put the... All right. Yes, that BIOS update disk that I accidentally booted from was a Packard Bell BIOS update disk, which I am now usurping for updating an IBM. Yeah, smash that like button or Dave will get mad. Yeah. So we have 14 viewers, and that's all I can see on my screen. And we have 14 viewers and 6 likes, so smash that like button. We'll see if the IBM update utility will cope with the GoTech. Alright, no volume label. Alright, nope, don't need to format another. Alright, CD temp. It should be, was that LPJT 63A. Self-extracting diskette image processor. Yes. Alright, here we go. Insert a blank high-density diskette in drive A. Press enter to extract. Excellent. It's taking a Gotek like it's a real drive. It might be because I'm actually running it on the actual computer, because sometimes that's the problem. There we go. Alright, I went and peeked at the label on the bottom of the case because there's something this BIOS update is going to do. It is going to give me the chance of setting the serial number on the board for the system. So I can actually set my system's serial number during the BIOS update process. So it will be like I never destroyed a board in the ultrasonic cleaner. Yay! Except I did. Sorry about that, IBM. Didn't mean to do that. Don't need another copy. Excellent. Alright, well, let's see. Well, I guess this will be the last time we see this boot screen in French, unless something goes horribly wrong. Now, if that doesn't say starting PC DOS, I'm going to be weirded out. Or maybe it's just going to, like, go straight to IBM Personal Computer Company, Post BIOS Update Utility version J4L13D95. Select language. United States, United Kingdom, Sweden, Finland, Spain, Portugal, Norway, Netherlands, Italy, Germany, France, Denmark. Well, those are countries, not languages. And then Canada French, Canada English, Belgium French, Belgium Dutch. Okay, well, yeah, I guess those are languages at the end. Whatever. Semantics. Alright, so I am obviously going to set United States, although it could be fun to set United Kingdom. Just pick Brazil. Actually, I might have a better shot of reading Brazilian, even though it's probably not anywhere close enough to Spanish for me to do it. The current serial number in your machine is 78KALBG. Would you like to update the serial number? Well, I guess I won't be able to register that serial number with iCloud. But yes, I would like to update the serial number, because my serial number is 23TGNXN, which I guess I won't be able to register that one with iCloud either. Alright, let me double check. 23TGNXN. The current machine type model in your machine is 657635F. Now we can figure out what this came out of. So this came out of a PC something model 6576, model number 35F. Would I like to update the machine type model? Yes. And mine is 658657. H. 658657H. Please wait. Preparing to flash. No, please don't. This is a family show. Press a key to reboot system. I sure hope it... Wait a minute! Looky there! Yes! I can read it! I can read it! And I don't think I hit F1 in time, or did I? No, I think it's booting the BIOS update disk. Oh, there we go! Look at that! Alright! Product summary, there we go. Alright, I'm glad to get the right processor in this now, because the Personal Computer 350 model 6586 did not ship with the Pentium 75. I don't know how much RAM it shipped with either, but I'll keep the 16 megabytes of IBM memory. Francois says, "Oh non, je ne comprends plus." Oh no, now I don't understand anymore, yeah. But I can read it clearly. And there we go. Now it's got my serial number and my machine type and model. Excellent. And we have the February 4th, 1998 BIOS, which, as far as I can tell, is the... Well, it's the latest BIOS that's archived. So yeah, English side is repaired. The BIOS update, where I set the language, it loaded the BIOS that I found with the English text, and it even has my serial number and model code in the BIOS. So now, this board, it'll be like I never ruined a board in the ultrasonic cleaner. Video setup. 1 megabyte of video memory. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the right speed chips. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, technically, I do have the right speed chips, but I'll have to pull them off another board. Well, we might do that later. Okay. Don't think we need to set that. ID drive setup. So that should be good. Let's see, date and time. Well, actually, it is only 2022. Whoop. 12. And let's see, it is 12/7/2023. Yep, that is correct. Okay. System security. I'm not even going to mess with that. Start options. Num lock on. Keyboard speed fast. Disk, hard disk, CD-ROM. I wonder what the choices are. Network. Oh, I could have it network boot. Cool. Power on self-test enhanced. Virus detection disabled. There we go. Advanced setup. Cache control. Cache is enabled. Only 256K of cache. Oh well. Unfortunately, this model has better performance in French. Yeah. Yeah. It seems fancier in French, but Jeremy did give me one that was in English. Rapid resume. Interesting. Save settings, I guess. Exit setup. All right. Jack says, bring on the viruses. Jeremy says, are those the boards that the ultrasonic cleaner ate? Justin says, nope, and you saw nothing. Yeah. I have repaired the first two boards, and 1,000 years from now, we'll never know. No one will ever know. As my grandmother would say, yep, 1,000 years from now, no one will know. Okay, Joe, I do get that reference. It's from the movie Better Off Dead, the French. We have the French dressing and the French fries and the French baguette or French bread or yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, why am I running benchmarks? No. Bad. Can't run benchmarks yet. Can't run benchmarks just yet. Because this isn't the right processor, so I gotta, So the cool thing is, I now have a Pentium 75 processor to probably realize I have another Pentium 75 stashed away somewhere. That's cool. All right, so now... Oh, it's a reference to Breaking Bad. Okay. Which I should have realized that of all people. And I actually have not seen all of Breaking Bad, so... No spoilers for the season 5. I don't want to know that something like that potentially Heisenberg doesn't make it or whatever. Don't want to know. Don't tell me. All right, let me find the okay, oh yeah, French toast. Yeah, Jeremy got it. Yep, thank you for the correction. Yes. Yeah, it was French toast and French fries and French dressing, or actually it might have been French dressing then French fries. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I want my $2. All right. Oh, this board is on the retro web. So let me just hop there real quick. So the quickest way to find this board, let's see here. Let me see. Select a manufacturer. IBM. I think it'll find it if I select IBM as the manufacturer. Although I think this is actually an Intel board. It's like the Intel... some fancy name. Let's see, this is the FX chipset. There's a lot of chipsets that are called the FX chipset. Let's see, this is the 430 FX. Is that right? Intel Triton 2. That'd be the 82437FX. The 82438FX. No. Oh, yeah, that is it. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, this is the... hold please. Oh, here we go. This is the Intel Advanced NM-S64, or also called the Morrison 64 board. And it does support 512K of cache, if I can get the right cache chips. Supports up to 128 megs of RAM. It is an LPX form factor. It does support EDO RAM. And what I need to do is I need to find the jumpers, because the 75 megahertz Intel uses a 50 megahertz bus. But the 100 megahertz that this originally shipped with needs the 66 megahertz bus. And if you think back to some other recent live streams, you might realize that there might be some shenanigans I play here shortly. All right, so I need to set switch 1, 6, 7, and 8, which are currently all off. And for 66 megahertz, They need to be off, off, on. Also, for ISA bus clock speed, pins 5 and 7 open. Hold on, let me check the ISA bus speed setting. J5, J1. I believe that this board is set for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 7 are open. So this board was set for 8.33 megahertz ISA bus speed. For 100 megahertz, I want to close them for 8.25 megahertz, or I could attempt 11 megahertz and leave them open. But I think for compatibility, I should probably close it. All right. Fingers crossed, and I'll get back to where I can see the chat here. Fingers crossed. Okay. So let's see here. Joe is working on the Tandy 1400 LT that I sold him. It's the one that belonged to one of his in-laws. And he got it, and the backlight wasn't working, but he just told me it does work. It is just very dim. Yeah, unfortunately, I never had a Tandy 1400 as a point of reference. Joe's probably thinking, but you've got 3 at the moment. But yeah, none of them I've not successfully powered any of them up, because one didn't power up, and the other 2 came in after Sep Tandy, so they're actually still in their packing material. Joe said, I've turned it off. I turned off all the lights and found it glowing. Yeah. Yeah, Thomas Armstrong says Intel made a lot of the IBM stuff at the time. All right, well. Is the HP, is this... Oh, Thomas, this is actually an IBM. This is an IBM 350. And I think... Well, I've got it at least so that this system board is like it belongs in the system. So it actually has the serial number and the model type for my system set in it. So, and there we go. The original 100 megahertz processor is in it, and we'll let's run a few benchmarks to see if it's working, and then we'll deal with the next parts of the system. So I will close the poll at 10:30. So I guess less than 8 minutes to go on the poll. You can vote which version of PC-DOS I try to install on the original hard drive, assuming it works. And if it doesn't work, I'll figure out what size it is and see if I got something close. Anyway, until then, let's run some benchmarks to see if this board is working. Wow, that's pretty good performance. 91.1 frames per second. Wow, that's a good performance for a Pentium 100. I mean, after all, it is an S3, I think it's a Trio 64. Actually, you know, I could just look at the board that is missing part of the chipset. Yeah, it's an S3 Trio 64. And I think this board that I ordered from overseas that is missing part of the chipset, I believe it might be the donor for the memory for the 2 megabyte of video memory. Because at least it'll be the correct speed and type. All right. Chris's 3D benchmark, because everyone loves the blobby cube. Jeremy says a socket 5 will run a Pentium 133, and with enough RAM, it would run Windows 2000. Yes, this would potentially run a 133, except for the fact, and I don't think this board, well, this board does not have published jumper settings for a 2x multiplier. I would have to figure out what switch goes to what pin on the socket. But I don't really need this set. I don't need a 133 processor. I have other plans for that socket. All right. Chris's bench score, 39.8. That is 23.8 frames per second. That is actually not a bad score. So the PC player benchmark, probably the toughest benchmark in all of MS-DOS. I think it took my K63 system to actually make it look somewhat smooth. I keep hiding the chat on myself. Hey, Sloopy Malibu, welcome! You're about to see the... Actually, this is not too bad. 9.6. That's actually probably not a bad score for the system. All right. Where's 1-bit or any bit when you need him? The Doom benchmark. Wow. I have to say, okay. Oh, this is Doom. That's right. Doom is actually fairly lightweight compared to Quake. Let me, while this Doom is running, let me find the object on my shelf that I wanted to go grab. Because part of what I was thinking of doing with this system, partly because I wanted to leave my Packard Bells as they are, but you all probably know I do have an Intel Overdrive MMX. I was thinking of putting the overdrive in this computer. 2134 game ticks and 1415 real ticks. Wow. That is... Wow, I think the Trio 64 graphics chip was a good graphics chip. I think my K63 only scored like 700 and something. So it took like four times the speed of an AMD K63 to double the Doom benchmark. Hey, KMac Vintage. Jeremy says, I would definitely play Doom on a PC like that. Well, I would too. I would too. Well, let's go straight for the Quake at 640 by 480. And, okay, that's actually not bad either. It definitely totally looks playable. You know, quite honestly, I don't know if the MMX processor is going to do much on this system. It's already pretty performant. Jeremy says, yeah, the lower the second number, the faster it is. Yeah, I know. So it took 4 times the speed of a K63 to only double, or to have that second number. So, yeah, that 24.1 frames per second. Yeah, that would be... I mean, a little on the low side maybe, but that would be totally playable. Okay, that will probably... The MMX processor will probably help with that number. Alright, I believe Landmark speed test will actually run on this system. Computer performs like a 104 megahertz AT with 168 megahertz 8287. Oh, wait a minute, though. No, it's truncating numbers. It's actually 1040 megahertz and 1685 megahertz. Okay. Yeah, that benchmark's worthless on the system like this. See, top bench, probably worthless on a system like this. SpeedSys, there we go. All right. Yeah, lower real ticks equals more frames per second. Yes, I get things mixed up sometimes. Yeah. All right, so here we go. So, speed sys, hopefully will say that, yes, 73.35. That line does appear to be right about where a Pentium 100 would be. And that's, yep, there we go. 256K of cache. I see the line. If I could find the RAM chips, I'll put 512K of cache in this board. And now you're probably, if you're wondering if I'm hesitantly digging under the pile of boards I have beside me to find the board that basically died in the ultrasonic cleaner, I think it only had 256K of cache on it as well. Because unfortunately, I think the cache chips kind of... Oh, wait, no. That's my Super 7 board I didn't use. Oh, there it is. I suspect most of these boards had 256K of cache. Yeah, it was just 256K of cache, so... Unfortunately, I don't have 512K of cache to put in this board. Although, granted, I don't know what it would help. That's pretty good. All right, cache check. All right, we'll do cache check. I don't think it'll show any huge surprises. Yep, 8K of cache in the processor, 256K of cache on the motherboard. Yeah, that seems right. I don't think we need to run through this. All right. All right. There we go. That's pretty good. Oh, I did say I was going to close the poll, so... All right. We shall see. And it looks like PC-DOS 6.3 won by 47% of y'all say PC-DOS 6.3, 12% said PC-DOS 7.0, and 41% said PC-DOS 2000. All right. Well, when I get to that point, I will honor the results of the poll. But first... I do want to see what an MMX processor might be able to do for the performance of this system. So we will pull the 100 megahertz processor out. I'll put the MMX overdrive in. And I will have to change 0 settings on the board because it's already set for a 66 megahertz front side bus. And there we go. Jeremy said, if I could have voted, I would have gone with 2000. Well, 2000 will be the... So I'll go in order. So if I have trouble with PC-DOS 6.3, then I'll do 2000. And if I have trouble with that, then I'll go to 7. Although if I have trouble with 2000, I'll probably have trouble with 7. Actually, the good thing is PC-DOS 7 is on XDF format disk, so that actually could have been troublesome. I'm kind of glad 6.3 won, because that I know will work on the Gotek. Well, with the overdrive processor, we went from like 91 to 127. Pretty nice. For the blobby cube, we are going to go to... Ooh, well, that does look a bit faster. Oh, sorry. Realized forgot to change the input. 33.9 frames per second. I don't think that really went up that much. All right, PC player. This was like 9 point something before. It might be a little bit smoother. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to change the capture. Yeah, you should be able to see it now. I'll rerun the first benchmark so you can see that I was... So that we can have video proof that it got somewhere around 127. It went from 9.1, I think, to 12.8. Not bad for just a CPU upgrade. Although, granted, I think the CPU upgrade was like $599 back in the day. Or like $499. Yeah, you can actually see the difference. There we go, 127.2. Yeah, you can see the difference. I think Doom might be a bit harder to see the... maybe not. Because it was going pretty fast to begin with. This was like... right under, I think, 1,500. Just kind of nice round numbers to remember. $1028. Wow. So this is a 200 megahertz MMX Intel. The K6-3400 only pulled like 700 and something. So now I bet Quake with this MMX processor will probably be... So it was about, what, 24 to 25 frames per second? I think we'll be over 30. So, yeah, Jeremy says, ludicrous speed now. Ludicrous speed, go! My brains are going to my head! $35.5 frames per second. That would definitely be a very nice frames per second for Quake. Let's see here. Speed sys. No use running Landmark. It's kind of useless on such a fast computer. Alright, it's all the MMX. Yeah, my feet. Oh, yeah, my brains are going to my feet. Yeah, thank you. There we go. 147.52. And I think I can tell that it's going memory's faster a little bit. So yeah, I think that's about where a 2... Well, actually, the processor benchmark, it's a little low. Maybe a little low for 200, but... I mean, it's an older platform, so... But yeah, still quite a boost. We'll actually run cache check. It'll probably show that we're able to get to memory faster. Oh, there's the MMX reading. Yeah, I can actually run the MMX writing. Yeah, this is actually... I think this is the system I'll leave the overdrive processor in for now. I mean, obviously I'll keep the 100 megahertz processor for it in case I have a better system to put the overdrive in, but I see no reason other than potentially the anemic power supply that IBM put in the computer to not enjoy an Intel overdrive processor. Oh, cache check. Yeah, let's see. I stopped cache check early, but I'll let it run full through. 4, 7, 14. Yeah, that's definitely a noticeable difference. There we go. 16K of level 1 cache now. No change in level 2. Very nice. Yes, I can definitely tell there is a difference. And yeah, I'll leave the overdraft processor in this computer. If anything, hopefully the processor run cooler because it actually has a fan on it. And with the S3 Trio 64 graphics, I don't think I could put a better video card in it, or much better. I mean, now granted, I'm sure some folks would like to see me jam a Trident card in it, but that would just downgrade the video. Yeah. This is a nice little system. I think IBM did well in picking the Intel board to use. There we go. Excellent. All right, we have... So, we got the board. It's programmed for the serial number and model number of the computer it's going in. I've got the Intel Overdrive processor in it. I think it's time to see if this hard drive does anything. So, well, sayonara, compact flash card. But your job is done for the moment. All right, I am going to... All right. Because I don't have a lot of bench space left, I am going to actually remove the hard drive from this bracket, and we will all together see exactly what hard drive is in here. I do not know if it's the original one. Although, if it's been replaced, whoever replaced it put the original screws back in. I do know it's a Western Digital Caviar. I also know it's using the original IBM screws because they're the flathead. They've got a slot. But luckily, I'm using a hex driver to remove them. And yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but the bracket is a little bit rusty. So I do know this system was, well, I mean, it was a computer reset, so... Oh, wait, that might not be rust. That might actually be Texas dirt. Because that is dirt. That might actually be dirt, too. Alright, I have not turned the hard drive over because I'm going to do it on screen. And it is a Caviar 2700. Someone's written 730 megabytes on it. I do not see a Dell sticker on it, so I have a feeling this is a replacement drive. Because I'm pretty sure that if this was the IBM drive, it would have a sticker on it that says something like IBM Fru and some funky number, and probably would have a second label on it that also said IBM and some other number and some other IBM gobbledygook and... But I believe it is the original cable because... Oh yeah, it actually has clips on the side of it too. So not only does the original cable have the alignment notch, but it's got clips on each side to hold it into the IDE connector on the motherboard. Now, that is definitely IBM. Making sure that the system is going to arrive in one piece with everything connected. You're going to get your system, you're going to power it up, and it's going to just work. Yeah, there's no IBM FRU on it. Or Gateway, yeah. Oh, yeah, Gateway did use these a lot. Okay. I'm going to leave it on table cam in case this drive just like spectacularly goes bang. But 3, 2, 1. There is something I do not hear. Yeah, I definitely am. There is a definite noise I am missing from the environment. There's a reason why I have a rubber mallet in my hand, because of the missing noise from the environment. But I'm going to wait for maybe the IBM BIOS to maybe tell me that, to confirm that my suspicions. Yeah, I don't think the hard drive's spinning, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not. Yeah, that hard drive is definitely not spinning. All right, let me make sure the cables are plugged in. All right. Oh, there we go. There we go. My threats worked. It's spinning now. Maybe the IDE cable might have not been plugged in all the way on the drive side. Yeah, it's definitely spinning now. Now, does it work? I don't know. I'm going to boot from Joe's shop disk, which has ScanDisk on it, to run ScanDisk. That is assuming I didn't use his shop disk for something else. Yeah, I know, Jeremy. Jeremy says you can sometimes spin the hard drive by hand super quick in a jerking motion, kind of like that, to unstick it. But I was just going to tap on it gently. I'm still not convinced the drive is working because the BIOS is taking an awful long time to go into the BIOS setup. But it's not making any... But it does sound like a Western Digital Caviar. Yeah, I left the noise filters off. There we go. Alright, system summary. Oh, it detected it. Okay. Alright, let's see if this drive even has any... Or, no, I'm going to boot the shop floppy first. Jeremy says, the hard drive may be nearly dead. Yes, it might be. It could be like the hard drive I accidentally threw onto the floor. It kind of did it in. Jesse says, those usually make a confident sound when they first come up. Yeah. Actually, let me do something here. Alright, so I'm going to plug the riser card in. And I'm going to do a silly deed like that so that I can plug the post card in. And for anyone thinking that I'm having an awful easy time finding things tonight, no, I just must be because I didn't move things after last live stream very far. All right, now let's... Oh, Joe, yes, I did install an XT IDE in the Tandy. I forgot to tell you, because I didn't want the compact flash card to, like, come loose in shipping and then be rolling around in the system. The compact flash card is in one of the pockets in the case. The XTIDE is in the Tandy, but the compact flash card is in the case in one of the pockets. Yep, you told me you wanted the whole package, so that I took the machine apart already. Oh, okay. Yeah, the compact flash card is in the case in the, I guess if you're looking at it the way you'd unzip the case to pull the computer out, I think it's the front right pocket. There should be a ridiculously large compact flash card for the system. Oh, Joe says I took the entire machine apart already and I didn't have to. Yeah. Yeah, so, but yes, I'm the one that installed that XTIDE. That compact flash card has the Tandy, it's got the DOS from the Tandy disk on it, and it has that speech program on it, too. Yeah. So, yep. Well, got bombed. The reason why I threw the drive on the ground, it's not because I meant to throw the drive on the ground. I should probably point that out. I was having trouble unplugging the IDE connector from the drive because I had ran DBAN on it. And the cable was sticky. And when I unstuck it, finally, I had the drive, it was like I was holding it not over my workbench. So when the cable actually came out, I lost grip of the drive because it just like popped, and I ended up in that motion dropping the drive. But because I was pulling the cable out, there was some acceleration. So technically I did throw the drive, but I did not mean to. Yeah, Jesse says, I think I heard the Western Digital caviar noise just now. I think you did too. But I have no idea what we're doing because we're sitting at a blinking cursor prompt and we are not booting from the GoTech. I think the drive is very unhappy, so... Alright, good night, Joe. Oh, you were quoting a Saturday Night Live sketch song, yeah. Yeah. I don't think this caviar drive's very happy, because the IBM is, like, not booting. Oh. Well, Jeremy, you don't see the screen, but, like, that's all the screen's doing. So I was prioritizing, like, in case the drive just went, like... Yeah, I don't think this drive is happy at all. Alright. Yeah. Alright, it is jumpered correctly. It's powered on. Let me see if I can't put this GoTech to where I can actually see what it's doing. Alright. Sometimes a power cycle fixes things, sometimes it doesn't. Jeremy says, some Western Digitals like to be set to cable select. Well, The BIOS did seem to detect it, but maybe I should try cable select because reasons. Oh, there we go. Well, yeah, it's set to master right now. I might try cable select, but I just heard the Western Digital drive, like, do its little head seek thingy. I'm not entirely sure it's a happy drive. It's not making clunking noises. The computer doesn't really seem to be happy I've got it plugged in. Alright, well, while we wait for it to see if it does anything, right now we're just setting it the IBM. There we go. So we got the blinking cursor. The Gotek is... Oh, okay. Oh. I might have mistakenly assigned blame to the hard drive. The it got to track 11 on my copy of the Joe's shop disk, and then it like stopped reading the disk. So there might be something wrong with my disk, my floppy disk image. I'm trying another bootable floppy image. Maybe the problem was the disk image. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the drive has 3 settings: master, slave, and cable select. I think the problem was the disk image I was trying to boot, because I turned the Gotek so I could see the screen, and I saw it was reading the disk, and then it got to reading track 11, and then it like stopped reading the disk, and like... So either the Windows 98 version of MS-DOS doesn't like this computer for some reason, because Joe's disk was formatted with Windows 98, or there's something wrong with my Gotek image, or that version of DOS got trying to detect the hard drive and then got unhappy because of that. It is taking an awful long time to... Press escape for fast post. Alright, fine. Let's see what fast post does. Will that go faster? Go zoom. Alright, while we wait for this to lollygag around, let me see what I have in terms of other mechanical hard drives, and we'll probably just have to use a compact flash card. Okay, here we go. Starting MS-DOS. Well, I'll be. There must have been something wrong with my that disk image. Or it didn't like the hard drive. Alright. I don't have a CD-ROM plugged in. But the thing is, I don't think this disk has ScanDisk on it. Oh, it does have ScanDisk on it. Alright. Ooh, invalid drive specification. Error reading fixed disk. Oh. Alright, let's try cable select. This part of the stream potentially could be brought to us by... Nothing lasts forever. Yeah, these mechanical hard drives will eventually fail. So, enjoy them while you've got them. But this one might have given its last enjoyment in the past. Oh. Oh, well, the IBM did detect that I changed this. Okay, that's weird. Okay, does it see the drive now? System summary. Hard drive not installed. Okay. Okay, I did not like this caviar in cable detect CD, which I think's basically cable select. All right, this caviar drive has gone bad. It probably has a bad track 0 or something. Well, all right. Well, it makes spinny noises, but it is not a happy drive. So let me try to get this cable. There we go. All right. Well, I can't use that drive. All right. Let me see what I got. Because I'm pretty sure this BIOS is probably has a limit, and Jesse says try putting the jumper on the top row of master slave. Well then, why don't? Oh wait, this drive doesn't even have any jumper settings on. So you're saying park the jumper. Okay. Okay. I don't think it's going to do anything either, because the drive seemed to be detecting with the jumper in its original position, which I'm inferring, because this drive was in this computer, I am inferring that it was jumpered that way and was probably working at one point. I mean, that is a lot of assuming, but then again, maybe the drive was never jumpered correctly, and that's why the computer got put in the computer reset warehouse. All right, well, let's see if it should now potentially detect. Oh, wait. I turned the computer off before saving settings, so it's possible it won't detect a configuration change because the setup was set. Oh, or it will. Okay. System summary. Okay, it does see the hard drive again. Save settings. Exit setup. Alright, it's possible it was jumpered wrong, and that's why it got put in the warehouse. Alright, let me, while it tries to boot, let me see what I got in terms of hard drives that are like approximate size. That would be a convenient size, but I don't feel like pulling that one out. That one's got a bad track 0. What's a 40 gigabyte hard drive? Oh, here we go. Alright. I had set this one aside to put in my Power Mac G3, so the one I just went to get. So if I got to put another drive in this, I'll borrow the one that I was going to put in my G3. Oh. Well, there's a partition on it. Wow, to think this computer might have been put in the computer reset warehouse because the hard drive got jumpered wrong. Alright, let's run a surface scan. It seems to be working now. I guess sometimes all a caviar need is a threat to get replaced with another caviar. I think you might have called it, Jesse. I'm glad I tried it. Now, granted, of course, it could start chucking out bad sectors any moment now. But in the meantime, I am now looking at my stack of beige CD-ROM drives. Yeah, Jesse says those 2635, 2730, 2850, 21,000 drives are a picky bunch. Yeah, I also just about grabbed my my 1.6 gigabyte one that you sent me, but no, I've got that one set aside for my computer rebuild. Although I totally would borrow it for this tonight if I needed to, but I'm looking at my beige CD-ROM drives and trying to decide if I put one in the IBM with a 56-speed BenQ, a 52-speed Samsung, or those really are the only two, or a DVD-ROM drive. DVD-ROM drive could be interesting. I don't know. Hard to think. Let's see. Jeremy says, I have a different theory for those IBM computers from Computer Reset. Richard bought out an office setup and probably sold that office upgraded PCs. That is also entirely possible. It is possible this caviar that was in here is larger than the original hard drive, because I don't know what this computer would have shipped with. There were many tall stacks of those same machines there. Cool. Well, it does seem as if this hard drive might have been misjumpered, but... Well, it is possible that this got set aside from an office to be sold, but maybe they weren't setting them up until they sold them. Because the thing is, this hard drive has something on it, but I have a feeling if I boot the hard drive, it's going to boot into Windows 95 based on some of the file names I saw when it ran the file system check. And B, I suspect there's data on here that's not a new Windows 95 install. And I think I can also say that looking at the scan disk of where the data is on the drive, and I do see it looks like it's fragmented. So I'm wondering if maybe this one was like... I definitely could see they bought out an office, but maybe this one was... It hadn't been sold yet, so they hadn't processed it, I don't know. It was mid process. Maybe they put an upgraded hard drive in it, but hadn't actually put it on the bench to format it, so no one caught the jumper was wrong. Yeah, Jesse says, my guess is the master setting would be correct if a slave device was connected. Yeah. And the thing is, there was no slave device connected. There's no CD-ROM drive in the computer. Although that's not to say that someone didn't pull one out and put a faceplate in its place. But there's no CD-ROM drive in the computer. But maybe this hard drive got pulled out of something that did, so... Alright, I think we'll do a little computer archaeology here. Because I do need to go put the PC-DOS images on this thumb drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let ScanDisk run while I go upstairs and copy files. So enjoy the soothing sounds of Caviar hard drive and the ScanDisk running, and I'll be right back downstairs. Because I've got all the images unzipped, I just didn't have the thumb drive upstairs earlier, so let me go copy the images real quick. Good. I was half expecting I was going to come downstairs and see the ScanDisk was telling me, well, actually, it had probably been telling me to please reinsert your DOS disk. Oh, Jeremy says, oh, now that I think of it, I did grab a few stacks of those hard drives from the drive room. Oh, well, maybe you put this drive in that computer, Jeremy. No matter. The drive seems to be working, so I don't know. They're picky drives. And we're over halfway through the ScanDisk, so maybe, just maybe, this computer will have a 730 megabyte hard drive in it, which seems a bit small for a Pentium 100 compared to what Packard Bell was offering. But then again, it wouldn't surprise me if IBM was offering smaller but maybe higher RPM drives. Because fun fact, I know my PackMate 7415 shipped with a 1.2 gigabyte hard drive, which would have been downright huge. Oh wait, no, the PackMate 7415 shipped with a 2.1 gigabyte hard drive, which in '97 would have been pretty large. Yeah, my other one, my other Packard Bell, the 442 CDT, that one shipped with a 2.1 gig hard drive, which in '95 would have been like downright huge for a retail computer. But the thing is, I think both those computers, the drives are 4,200 RPM. I know the one that was in the PackMate's 4,200 RPM because it says so on the label. And I have a replacement drive that's the exact model as the one that was in it. So it is possible the Packard Bell may come out to play during December. I may have a stream where I've got like a couple DOS computers and I don't think I can fill a whole stream with one, but I might be able to fill a stream with like finishing a couple. So maybe the Packard Bell may come back out now that I got a exact replacement hard drive for it. Supposedly new old stock. We'll see how those Seagates age. Will they age like caviars? Or will the drive actually work correctly? I don't know. I haven't opened it. I haven't had time to open it. Also, I've got my Tandy 1400s may come out to play too for December. Yeah, IBM was stingy with providing valuable parts in their machine. So I could totally see IBM shipping this computer with a like 700 to 800 megabyte hard drive. I mean, it probably would have been a 5400 RPM hard drive, but it would have been a bit small. Yep, unless you paid up for them. Yep. Jesse says the local mom and pop shop was offering 1 gig drives on their Pentium 100 systems. Of course, they use Western Digital. Yeah. Yeah, the shop I worked for, we used a lot of Mac stores, but I think we also used a lot of Western Digitals. Because I remember using a lot of those Mac stores, but I also remember using a lot of those Western Digital caviars. I think at some point we kind of went to caviars because I think we realized the Mac stores weren't that great. Because I remember having to ship some back to Mac store. Like, right after we got them, they, like, failed while we had them, or they, like, failed right after the customer got the system, and we shipped the drive back to Mac store for them, because that's how soon it was after they got their system. So we basically replaced their drive, sent them along, and then we RMA'd it to Mac store to get a replacement that we then put in another system. But yeah, I think at some point we went to Western Digital caviars. I remember using them a lot. And then I think later Seagates, we used a lot of Seagates. And I even remember getting a couple Bigfoots. Quantum Bigfoots. Now, of course, drives today, getting vintage drives, I have successfully purchased 0 Bigfoot drives working, although I've only tried to buy 1. Yeah, Mac stores, I got a pretty bad track record on buying Mac stores, the small ones. Now, Trina has sent me 2 large Mac stores, and they work great. But me buying small... Look at that! ScanDisk did not find any problems on Drive C. Wow, look at that. I buy drives on eBay, regret. I'm given a computer with a drive, works perfectly. So thanks, Jeremy. It works great. Now, let's do a little archaeology, then we'll install PC-DOS. But let's see what this drive has on it. And... Hi, Steve. Steve says, Trina sent me some bricks, but I won't plug them in indoors. All right. I don't even know if this hard drive, the Windows install belongs to this computer, but we'll see. This will tell us if this drive is the heritage of this drive. Jeremy says, IBM in the mid-90s would have used IBM branded hard drives. My IBM Aptiva had a 1.2 gigabyte one with a Pentium 100. Jesse says, the small Mac stores, the Fireball 3 and the Diamond Max 8 drives were absolute dog water. Yeah. Oh, wait. This drive might actually be... Oh, this might actually be an install that Computer Reset did for sale. Yeah, because it looks like... Okay, well then maybe the drive... Maybe this computer had a... Oh, I wonder if maybe they had a CD-ROM plugged into it at one point and maybe forgot to change the jumper. But yeah, that's got the display driver. This is like a... Oh, this is a clean install of Windows. Oh, that was you. Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Okay, Jeremy installed this fresh version of Windows. Excellent. Well, now I almost feel sad about installing PC-DOS on it, but... Well, I mean, I can reinstall Windows. It's just Windows 95. Yeah. We're installing PC-DOS. All right. Here we go. I got the PC-DOS Disk 1 in. I think I've used PC-DOS before, very little though, so hopefully I'll be able to muddle through the install. There we go, starting PC-DOS. Required system component is not installed. Well, that is definitely a very IBM error. All right. Good night, Francois. All right, let's All right, so this hard drive is FAT16 formatted. So let me Francois says it is now safe to go to bed. Yes. The nice thing is I can just reinstall Windows 95 if I need to. But I don't have any machines with PC-DOS installed, and it seems like an IBM system should have PC-DOS installed on it. If you're running DOS and Windows 3.1. Of course, will Windows 3.1 run on PC-DOS? Should I maybe instead install OS2 if I go that far? But this is DOScember, so that's a question for another month. We'll go for DOS for now. Some might say a Pentium 200MMX is overkill for DOS, but Quake begs differently. And Steve, if you ever need an LS120 drive for that compact you picked up at the VCF swap meet, sorry, I've never had an LS120 drive. I've actually... The funny thing is, I think I somewhere do have an LS120 disc, if I can find it, because it's probably in the bottom of a box. Because someone at work found one, and they're like, here, Justin, I think you'll know what to do with this. But I've never had an LS120 drive. So, like, okay. So somewhere I have the disc for an LS120 drive, but I don't have the drive to use it, so... Steve says, I had a sealed LS120 drive. It was dead. Well, I sent an adapter to Adrian Black that I thought would work with his LS120 drive, and, well, that LS120 drive is also now dead. That was embarrassing. Jeremy says, I've got a couple of LS120 drives too, somewhere. Yeah, I think, yeah, zip drive definitely won that battle, even though LS120 was... Uh-oh. That's weird. So I ran ScanDisk and it didn't find anything, and now I'm running format and it's finding stuff. Oh, probably because it's actually trying to write the drive. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess this drive might not be as happy as I thought it was. Alright, well, we'll see if it's successful at recovering the allocation units. Oh, yeah, Jeremy says that's not good. Well, yeah, all mechanical drives like this are going to fail. I'm not going to put mission critical data on this computer, so... But it would appear as if there is a bad spot developing on the disk. Because I think ScanDisk only reads the drive. And I suspect it might have been able to read the data. But I bet when it went to go try to write the data, it probably is finding whatever's wrong with the platter at that spot. It's not so amenable to... this is not going to take a few days. If this formatting of this drive starts to take a few days, I am going to stop it from taking a few days in 5 minutes or less. I will just put a different drive in the computer and we'll install PC DOS that way. And I'm also now seeing, looking at the clock, that we have once again are like after 11 o'clock and getting the OS installed. So I'm not going to have much PC DOS time tonight, but oh darn. I'm still looking for suggestions for games to try after I install different versions of DOS on these systems, so... Jeremy says, Bruce has a chook cam. Why not a format cam? I don't have any drives that take that long to format. Unless I just set up a... If I could automate format and plug in a hard drive and just, like, automate format in a loop until the drive dies, then maybe I'll set up a format cam. Volume label, IBM. $350. Why not? All right. Oh, it does look like we got some bad sectors. Oh, well. All right, well, this hard drive's not long for this world, then. Of course, you know, while PC DOS is installing, I guess I'd need to figure out what sound card I might put in this computer. The logical first choice might theoretically be an IBM M-Wave sound card, but I think having watched other YouTubers evaluate that card, it's overpriced and not worth the overprice it goes for on eBay. So I also don't have one, so that's not an option. If someone wants to send me one, I'll be more than glad to put an M-Wave card in this computer. Otherwise, no. All right. That looks correct. Let's see here. PCMCI support? No. Antivirus? No. DOS shell? Yes. I don't need backup. I don't want compression. Yeah, that all looks correct. Previous DOS path? I guess that's correct, even though there's not DOS on here, because I formatted the drive. All right, here we go. Yeah, Jesse says, it's a novelty. All right, so let's see what I got in terms of sound cards that could go in this computer. Fortunately, the advanced logic got put into my All the Wise Choices Super 7 build. Although I think I figured out a reason why I'll probably end up putting a different sound card in that computer at some point. And that's probably because I think Windows 98 pairs better with Super 7. I think I need an ISA sound card in this computer. So I could go for... Actually, this one might be good, assuming it's not too long for the case. I've got an ESS audio drive ES688 based card. And it's got an OPL3 on it. That might not be a bad choice. I think the case is long enough for it. Or I have an I think I got 1868. Oh, what's disc 2? Okay. Although I think I got a bunch of cards that have the same chip on them, because... Oh, you can't see what it's... Oh, I'm showing you sound cards. It's just installing DOS. Well, I guess it's either going to be a PCI sound card or a ESS ISA sound card, because it looks like that's my choices at the moment. 1868. Gutbomb says OS2 does have DOS in it. He caught my comment. Jeremy says, I don't know why I'm thinking of Australian things when I've never been there. I saw a late 80s to early 90s caravan today and a junkyard today, and I immediately thought of how to turn it into a oot. Oh, hey, Rudy. Alright, I guess I'll go for an ESS card, because that's probably about my best choice. Okay, Microsoft wins for fewer disks for an MS-DOS install. Oh, Ute. I'm not Australian. Probably shows. Well, my parents watch an Australian show, so they talk about Australian things occasionally. Oh, press any key to restart your system. Oh, short for utility vehicle. Okay. Oh, Gutbomb says, Ute is pronounced Ute, basically a sedan with a pickup truck bed. Oh, kind of like the Subaru Baja. Rudy's telling me that I will have a composite and RGB to HDMI for K-Pro very soon. Excellent. IBM, I wanted DOS. If I'd wanted shell, I would have asked you. Oh, shift function 9 command prompt. But actually, exit also gets me command prompt. Oh, but way better than the Baja. Okay, yeah. Baja was kind of weird. Jeremy says yes, and Chevy El Camino or Ford Ranchero. Yes. Okay, so we've got PC-DOS. It installed. PC-DOS version 6.3 revision 0. Well, it's using about the same amount of memory that DOS 6 would, so that's good. Let's, trying to think. I bet the quickest way to... Oh, where did my compact flash card go? All right. Subaru Brat was better. Oh, that's an old vehicle. Older vehicle. Jesse says that literal wagon is better than a Baja. The Baja was a money pit. Yeah, and very expensive to insure. I bet it was. Gut Bomb says, law, by literal wagon, you mean a Red Rider. Yeah, I test drove a Baja once. It was weird. Let's see. I've got DOS installed. Okay, now I'm curious. All right. I'm like thinking, well, I could install the benchmarks, but we just ran them. Trying to think, what can I? Of course, I could run. Oh, well, I guess I could put the sound card in and then see if it just picks it up. All right. All right, let's do this. So, all right, I can pull the postcard out. We're good. Let's see here. I think I will put this long ESS sound card in this computer. If for nothing more than it feels like a sound card that IBM might have used. See here. Let me find this speaker cord. There we go. Oh, Jeremy's saying his insurance went down when he took his F-150 off and put his schoolie on. Wow, I didn't realize schoolies were as cheap to insure, but I guess they're probably because you're not constantly driving. I don't know. It is schoolies. I am impressed with some of the schoolie builds I see on social media. Not that I follow them very much. Okay, let's see here. Jeremy says that the F-150 could almost fit on the schoolie. Or inside, yeah. Well, I mean, it could maybe fit on the schoolie too, but that sounds like a bad idea. Wow, this hard drive is actually kind of slow. And the thing is, it's not like Planet X3 is that huge, but yet, this is slow. Come on, copy. Yeah, Rudy, I think schoolie is what they call the, like, school buses that have been turned into RVs, basically. All right. I have no idea if this is going to just work. No. Oh, maybe I need to plug it into speaker. Volume warning. Sound card works. And yes, this is actual Yamaha OPL. That's probably OPL 2. I have not read the directions since my last live stream, so... But yeah, it seems like yeah. Alright. Okay. We've got AdLib sound, and I didn't have to install anything, so that's good. So, yeah, that sound card, which I bought on... No, I might have bought that on eBay, the place where I buy things I later regret, but looks like that's not a regret. I can't remember. It was like one of those, I think I got an offer and accepted it, because it was a pretty decent price. Let me search. Oh, yeah, it was eBay. $16.35 plus shipping. So it's like, okay, that seems like a decent price. Because it had the OPL2 on it. And the ESS audio drives are generally, I think, respectable, especially since it's got the OPL. At least as far as I'm aware, I don't think they have the hanging note problems, so... But yeah. Alright, so, the IBM 350 model 6586 S3 Trio 64 graphics on board. I've put my Intel Pentium Overdrive MMX 200 in it, and this nice ESS 688 base sound card that has an OPL2 chip on it. I don't know what brand sound card it is. I think it's just a... I don't think it's marked on the back. I think it's just a decent quality looking generic sound card. It was probably an OEM card out of some system, but yeah, it should, I mean, it's a little bit longer than the motherboard, but I think the case is big enough for it. So, yeah, there we go. This is, oh yeah, good night, Rudy. So anyways, this system looks like it would be great to play Doom or Quake on. It seems to get respectable scores on Quake, especially with the overdrive. So, yeah, nice clean install of PC-DOS 6.3. And, of course, now I'm almost curious what PC-DOS 2000 is, but also trying to, but I don't know. Probably not time to install that tonight. Trying to think, is there anything else? Yeah, pretty much I think now it's probably I'll clean up the case and install all these components in the case, which don't have time for that tonight. Yeah, let's see. Is there anything else I have to put in here? Sound card. Hard drive. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, at some point I'll put some network cards in some of these systems, but... Oh, I guess there is one thing I could do, because I don't know... I don't know if this memory's good. Guess we'll... oh. Yeah, I went back. There we go. I'll run a memory test. Let's see if this memory's... check this memory and make sure it's good. I guess I'll also, while I do that, let me see if I can find the memory chips that I have that I think I set to my right on my workbench. I don't think they're fast enough for this system, and they may actually not be the right ones. Because I think this Trio 64 may actually need SD RAM. No, those are 60 nanoseconds, so that's not going to be... The chips on the motherboard are 50 nanosecond for the video. So 60 nanoseconds is probably not... Probably not what I want. I think I'm probably going to just end up pulling chips off one of the motherboards. I could try to install OS2 Warp. I don't know how long it would take to install. Oh wait, OS2 Warp is... Does OS2 Warp even run on MS-DOS? Or... Yeah, it's like lots of floppies. Lots of floppies. And I can't even tell from the screenshots on WinWorld if it even has MS-DOS underneath the hood to run DOS games. Wow, OS2 Warp looks really bloated. Oh, here's OS2 Warp 3. Power PC Edition. Oh, that's most certainly for an IBM Power PC. Seems like maybe OS2 version 1 is... Oh, has poor backwards compatibility. Never mind. I don't know. OS2 Warp is an OS by itself, yeah. And this is a DOS Cimber stream, so I think I'm going to not install an operating system that's not running on DOS. I'll save that for another time. Because, yeah, maybe this computer... For the moment, I want something that'll run DOS games. Not that I don't have things that'll run DOS games. Yeah, I know that IBM made the PowerPC CPU for Apple, but I guarantee that version of OS/2 Warp for PowerPC is not for the Macintosh. It's for IBM's own PowerPC workstation. Although it is good that the RAM looks... Yeah, I think the system is working good now. Windows Millennium Edition only requires a Pentium 150. Yeah, Windows Millennium Edition can stay outside in the cold for all I care. I never really cared for it much. Well, Jeremy, I currently have a Intel Overdrive 200 MMX in this computer, so it meets the CPU requirement. But Windows Millennium Edition can just stay outside for all I care. I think it was really a stopgap because Microsoft wasn't ready to release XP yet, so they ended up having to release another consumer version after Windows 98. Because I don't think XP was ready, so they ended up releasing Millennium Edition. At least that's what I read online. Anyways, for now, I think this is probably where I'm going to leave this system. At least until I put it back in the case and think a little more about what else I might want to put in it. But yeah, I guess the hard drive works. It's got some bad sectors, but it works. Sound card works. Okay, maybe it wasn't really that bad in the end, but it was kind of bad at the beginning. I'm not... It might be fun to run some things on the minimum requirements, but it's DOS Simber, and while I know Windows Millennium Edition runs on DOS, it's kind of... The systems that'd be running Windows Millennium Edition seem awfully late to really be running DOS games. Because you get to Windows 98 and Millennium Edition, and that's where you start getting into the WDM drivers for things and hardware that wasn't DOS compatible. I mean, sure, yeah, I could probably run it on this computer, and it would run DOS. I could go into DOS mode, and it'd run DOS games, but... Yeah, it's kind of newer than I want to go. I never had a computer that used Windows Millennium Edition. Because I guess when I built my computer okay, so kind of back in that time, my computer was sort of a ever-changing computer as I got new parts. But when I went to college, I'm pretty sure I was running Windows 2000. And yeah, that did cause problems at first for playing games, but I was at college, so it was okay. Yeah, Jeremy says, Windows 95 and 98 second edition were the creme de la creme. Yeah, I'm actually thinking of putting Windows 98 second edition on my K63 400, because I think that's actually what would have been out when that system would have been new. Yeah, I know what creme de la creme is. It's best of the best. Yep. So I'm thinking of maybe going up to Windows 98 second edition on that computer, because I think that's the more appropriate one. But, yes, that's right. But I don't know if that advanced logic sound card has Windows 98 second edition drivers. Oh, darn. But you know what I figured out today? There were actually Trident sound cards. But they didn't have any DOS game compatibility, so look, moot point for that system. Sloopy says, I never had to deal with me. The only machine that had it was replaced with XP immediately. Jesse says, I threw Millennium Edition on my Compaq Armada 1571 DM. It didn't like it much. I've got a Compaq Armada that I don't remember what it is. Actually, wait a minute. That model number looks familiar. Jeremy says, Windows XP would run like garbage on a K63. Well, I'm not running Windows XP on that K63. If I was going to install Windows XP on something, it's probably going to be like a Pentium 3 or an Athlon XP. Or newer. But then you get to the point of where it's kind of too new for my channel, because I really start to lose interest when you start getting to Pentium 4 and... Jeremy says, I know because I tried it 20 years ago. Jesse says, it's one of the few 1500 series with built-in USB. Hold, please. That model number sounds really familiar. Oh, I've got the 1598. Never mind. Oh, but it does have USB. Okay. Yeah, that's why it sounded familiar. Yeah, I have an Armada 1598 DMT. That's why that model number sounded somewhat familiar. And yeah, it's got a USB port on the one side. All right, memories works. Yay. Okay, so I think I'm going to call this a success. Jeremy says 1571 was also a Commodore floppy drive. Yes. All right, I am calling this a success tonight, despite having destroyed one board for this computer and then buying one that had damage I didn't notice until I got it, and it was an international transaction. Once I saw the board and then looked at the pictures, I realized the damage was there all along. I just didn't know what I was looking at. So, yeah, third time's the charm. This board is not going in the ultrasonic cleaner because it is clean. I don't see any reason to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm not going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I am not risking it. You do not have to worry. I will not be saying next week that I ultrasonically cleaned it and guess what? I killed it. No. This is going... I gotta clean the case first, but then I'm gonna put it in the case. And it's just gonna, like Jeremy says, at least I have 2 parts boards. Well, I have 1 parts board. I don't know if that original board has any parts on it that can be used. Because, like, a lot of the chips have those brown legs that... Yeah, I don't know that there's anything salvageable on the first board. Jack68K says, the solution is to buy 3 of everything. So, yes, I do have at least 1 parts board. There might be a few things I can pull off the original board, but Thomas Armstrong says recap it. Well, no, Thomas, the first board, it's not the capacitors that's the problem. It's like all of the chips. Jeremy says, my dad once had 3 Ford Aerostars at the same time. Ugh, the nightmares. Actually, I think IBM used fairly decent caps, although I do see a couple surface mount ones, so... I mean, I might replace those surface mount ones, but they're not leaking at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, the one board that's missing the chip from the chipset that's got a broken tray, or a lifted pad, that one will go in my repair pile. I may repair it sometime. The original board for the system will just probably go in my pile of sadness. I'm not going to scrap it, but I'm going to hold on to it in case I figure out what I did wrong and can make a video on it. At the moment, I can't do that because I don't know exactly what I did wrong or why the ultrasonic cleaner did what it did. So at the moment, those two boards that are damaged from the ultrasonic cleaner, they're set aside for making a video at some point, but they're not in my scrap pile. No, the boards that are in my scrap pile are pretty much the boards that are not salvageable. No, maybe except for the board that's on top of it. This is just a board that makes me sad, so it's in the top of the scrap pile. Maybe someday I'll move it to the repair pile, but at the moment it's on the top of the scrap pile. I'm not going to say which board it is, but it's it's a socket. It is a socket 7 board, so Jeremy, as I said, I put the riser card in. In fact, the riser card went in at the same time as the motherboard. The riser card has 0 damage on it. I'm thinking it might have been contaminants on the motherboard that did not transfer into the solution, but I don't know yet. I don't think it was a concentration issue because the riser card went in at the same time, and I had at least one other thing I cleaned around this, like in that batch, that didn't have any issues. So I don't know what it was yet. So anyways, if I can figure it out, I'll make a video on it. But at the moment, I can't prove it was contaminants. I can't prove that it was a solution mismatch that went away after running a couple cycles. Because the riser card was in at the same time as the motherboard. Because my ultrasonic cleaner is big enough, they both fit. Now, I didn't put the compact board in with the motherboard and the riser card. That wouldn't fit. But the riser card was in with the motherboard at the same time. The riser card has 0 damage. In fact, the riser card I'm using now is the original riser card. It has 0 damage. No, I haven't changed the solution since then. I need to because the water's dirty, but I haven't changed it. Everything I've run through since is the same solution. That's how long the solution lasts. Other than the water's dirty, I need to replace it, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Now that LC board went through and some of the legs look a little odd, I am probably going to change the fluid before I clean anything else, but I had the reason why I haven't changed it yet is the time when I wanted to change it, there was a water main break in part of the county. So the grocery stores didn't have any bottled water, or didn't have any gallons of water, because everyone that was affected by that water main break was buying all the water, and I didn't feel like driving to Charlottesville for water, so I'm not sending a sample to a lab before I change it. I have better things to buy on eBay than to pay a lab to analyze water. Or it could be worse things to buy on eBay than to pay a lab to analyze water. Then send a sample of the fresh solution. I've got things to buy on eBay, the place where I buy things I'll later regret. Because I'd probably regret sending it to a lab. They're probably just going to tell me, yeah, it's dirty water, yeah, it's clean water. I don't think the water is the problem because I used distilled water. I think my theory is there was something on the board that was not happy in the ultrasonic cleaner. But I can't prove that. It would probably take another board that I knew was in the same area of computer reset that might have been exposed to the same contaminant, and probably see if I could find a way to test that to see what might be on the board. but that would be expensive. I don't think I don't think the solution in the ultrasonic cleaner is going to. I don't think testing the water is going to give me the answer I want. I think they're basically just going to tell me. The thing is, I think if I were to want to get an answer, I would have needed to have taken a sample of the water right after running those boards through and realizing I had a problem. I don't think testing it now is going to give me an answer because I have run many boards through that had no issues since. And I can't say that what the discoloration I saw on the LC board is the same thing. It could just be variation in the metal of those legs. Because while they look a little darker, they don't look like they're turning brown. They look like they're just getting darker. So, I don't know. All good ideas, but I don't think that's going to give me the answer I want. And I don't think... I have a feeling a lab is going to charge way more than I want to pay to test the water. And the other thing is, I don't even know what to tell them to test for. Because I don't know what happened to the board. If I can figure out what exactly happened to the board and could tell them what to test for, then it would be more of a possibility. But then I would probably what I would do is I'm going to keep on using the ultrasonic cleaner the way I have. If I have another board that does the same thing and I can figure out what might have gone on, then maybe I take the sample at that time and send it to a lab. But I don't want to just send a sample to the lab and say, okay, test for everything, because then they're going to like charge me for everything. But yeah, Jeremy's saying, I think you may be onto something with the computer reset storage theory. Yeah, I think I would be more likely to find an answer if I could figure out a commonality to where it was stored. Because the other thing is, I put other boards through and they didn't do the same thing. So I don't know if what I saw in the ultrasonic cleaner happened in the ultrasonic cleaner per se. I'm kind of been wondering if what the reason why it looks like that is because whatever happened at computer reset had already affected the chips, and when I put it through the ultrasonic cleaner, it like ended up... I'm kind of wondering if maybe the plating was compromised on those legs, because I know they plate those legs with something. I'm wondering if the plating was compromised and the ultrasonic cleaner just simply served to blow the compromised plating off the chip, exposing the rust that was underneath. Jeremy says moisture and mold were abundant. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been wondering as well. That's the other reason I don't really want to send water from my ultrasonic cleaner off for sampling, is because I'm kind of wondering if the ultrasonic cleaner blew off the plating that was on the chips that was already compromised from the storage conditions. And I would want to maybe get a hold of another board that was in the same area of computer reset so that I could maybe look at it really closely before it's cleaned to see if I could spot the issue and maybe figure out how to tell that, oh, you don't want to ultrasonically clean this. Because I'm also kind of wondering that if I'd scrubbed it really good with a brush, I'm kind of wondering if I would have also started to see the plating come off. That's kind of what I'm wondering. So that's the other thing. I don't really want to send a sample of water from my ultrasonic cleaner unless I'm sure that was the cause and not just the device that revealed the problem. Because otherwise they're going to tell me, yeah, you've got water, it's slightly alkaline, it's got suspended dirt in it, and I wouldn't drink that. I mean, because the thing is, it's going to be slightly alkaline from the ultrasonic cleaner solution. So, Jeremy says he has another board from the same spot. Well, Thomas says some IC manufacturers did have rust under the coating. Well, the thing is, Thomas, the chips that were affected on the one board are from at least 3 different manufacturers, if not more. Because Hitachi and Moss were the worst. Well, unfortunately, of the board that has the damage, I don't think any of the chips are... Well, none of them are Moss. That's for sure. I don't think any of them were Hitachi. They were Intel, S3, I think National Semiconductor. I'm pulling the board here to get major brands that were affected. Yeah, I definitely know the Intel chipset was affected. The S3 video chip was affected. The National Semiconductor multi-IO chip. I think the Motorola SRAMs for the cache. The Sigma-Tel tag RAM. The memory for the video chip, I can't tell what brand it is because it's hard to read. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the affected chips are Hitachi. So, yeah, it affected like... I guess I could go to table cam here. You might have not seen it when I showed it. Yeah, this is the board, one of the 2 boards that went through the ultrasonic cleaner that... it's like... I removed the S3 chip in the hopes of maybe being able to fix it, and a lot of the pins bent when I removed it because of how compromised they were. But even the memory chips for the video, I think even the flash memory chip might be okay. There's that bodge. But yeah, the chipset, the SRAMs, there's more of the chipset. I'm not surprised the capacitors did that, because I've seen even brand new capacitors do that. But yeah, even the multi-IO. Thomas says maybe a chemical reaction with the solder. I've seen that happen. Yeah, that was my other wonder, is if there was like some chemical that contaminated it. Maybe not necessarily on purpose, but after all, those computers were in the computer reset warehouse for 20 years more. There were leaks in the roof, I've heard. I mean, I have no idea what you might wash off the roof from a leak. No telling what, as water drips through things, what it might pick up. No telling how long water might have sat on that board if water had leaked into it. So, Jeremy says an early lead-free solder? Maybe. I don't know how I would prove that, other than maybe research when IBM tried lead-free solders. It is entirely possible it's an early lead-free solder, and it was not robust, but I don't know how to prove that. So, yeah, anyways, luckily the third board, the second board I bought on eBay, which would be the third board for the system, it's working great. Memory test is running like a champ. So I got 16 megabytes of RAM. It's actually IBM branded RAM, so I'll just leave it there. So yeah. Jeremy says they weren't leaked on, but humidity was overbearing in the heat. So yeah, heat plus humidity. And, I mean, maybe they weren't leaked on, but if you've got humidity and heat, but then it cools down of a night, you're going to have condensation, so that could cause who knows what problems. Yeah, Jeremy says there's the source of the moisture. And the thing is, older electronics had lots of fun chemicals in their makeup to make them flame retardant and things. So, I mean, no telling what happens if you've got water that condenses on the board on a daily basis, potentially for parts of the year, and it's there to soak up whatever fun chemicals are in the board to keep them from burning if it catches fire. I mean, there's no telling what that could do. And if this is maybe an early lead-free solder, I mean, sure, that might explain it. Just moisture and heat and cold and maybe a novel process used. Yeah, why not? I mean, maybe even just the fact it had moisture and humidity and heat and cold, and I mean, that could just be plain and simple rust that water got into the plating and kind of ate it from inside, and the ultrasonic cleaner then blew the plating off as if it were dirt. I mean, all good theories. So anyways, that's kind of why I guess more why I'm kind of inclined to say it's storage, not my ultrasonic cleaner. Though I will admit, I had like topped up the fluids in the ultrasonic cleaner, so I mean, I could have had the balance slightly wrong, but the Elmatech does have a fairly wide like percentage you can use, but still. I mean, yeah, Jeremy, it might be the basis of a theoretical rabbit hole for a video. I mean, it could be the part one of the, hey, I did this and this happened, here's what I think, and then let people reply on how plausible it is. That would be one way to get an answer. So maybe I'll just throw together a video of like, just, okay, I want to get this out there because I'd like to maybe track down an answer. Here's what I got. Here's my theory. Can someone, can I get a board to maybe help prove the theory, disprove it? Has anyone seen this? Do you have data that says, no, that can't happen? Do you have data that says, oh, well, here's your press release that said IBM or, because it's an Intel board, or IBM or Intel was like, oh, here's your press release that says, yeah, we're experimenting with a new lead-free process on this board. Great. That lead-free process turned out to be not the one they wanted to use long-term because of this. Great. But, yeah, too many factors for hard evidence. But, I mean, sometimes a good theory would be even if the video is, oh, if you had a board that was a computer reset, you might not want to ultrasonically clean it because of this reason. Or at least, hey, I saw this on a board from Computer Reset and I ran it through an ultrasonic cleaner. It did this. Just heads up, you might want to try just scrubbing out isopropyl alcohol with the toothbrush first. Of course, that might remove the plating too if it's water got in under the plating and rusted it from the inside. It's possible that I was going to do the same exact thing with isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself, other than I spent $200 to basically get one working motherboard because I didn't see the damage on the first one I bought. But, well, that's a story for a different day. I mean, well, I've done worse on eBay, so, well, there's that. But at least the thing is, it's an IBM system. I guess to close this off, it's an IBM system. All right, where's the reset button? Hard drive, power, sleep, IR, fan, speaker. Oh, there may not be a reset button on this. All right, well, let me power cycle it because I was going to go to the... Yeah, Jeremy says, the compact board was a much later one with the same damage, though I'm leaning towards the storage environment. Anyways, so this is an actual IBM board, and for those of you that missed it, this board came from Canada. It came from one of the French provinces, so it had the French IBM BIOS on it. So anyways, got it with the English BIOS, and oh, hey, TTM Ace One. Yeah, I'm about to close the stream down because I got this system up. But anyways, oh, that's not the one I was going to. Anyways, got the US BIOS on this IBM, so now I can actually read things. And so if you got one of these IBM like personal computer, at least I think the model 330 and 350 do the same thing. So if you get one and the BIOS is set to a language you don't speak, you get the BIOS update and you set the language that way. So the apparently it looks like there was only room in the BIOS for one language, so you set it at BIOS flash time. Also, if you got one of these boards that you pulled from another system and you want to set your product data to match your system, the label would be on the bottom of the case, and you also can reprogram that when you flash the BIOS. So for those of you that missed it when I flashed this computer, that is actually the machine type and model for the computer Jeremy gave me, and that is actually the system serial number from the sticker on the bottom of the case. So anyways, yeah, this board, I'll put it in the case, and it will be like it was the original board. So I call this a successful, even though I haven't put this in the case, a successful restoration part 1 live stream so that I can, clean the case, and then I'll put everything back in it, because the case has dirt in it and maybe a little bit of rust that I'll probably put some rust converter on so it'll stop rusting. But anyway, I kind of want to clean it out and inspect the power supply before I plug it in and kind of give it a nice clean just so it looks a little nicer. But yeah, successful restoration, part 1 live stream. The board is ready to put in the case. It'll be like it was the board that came with the system. It works great with my overdrive processor that I used in the Packard Bell the other day. And yep, as Jeremy's saying here, I would like to add, for when I do the video about the ultrasonic cleaner damage, probably to that video the precaution of using only gentle cleaning methods for items that came from computer reset. Yeah. Okay, Jeremy's telling me the plastics on that case are extremely fragile. Yeah, I already figured that out because the part of the case that would have had the keyboard and mouse legends actually missing. It's already broken off. So, yeah, I will use Windex and paper towel and try to clean it without disassembling it, just because I know the plastic's going to be fragile. But I at least would like it to feel a little cleaner. I'm sure you can't blame me there. Because after all, I mean, I got this board that's pretty clean to put in it. I'm going to at least give it a little bit of a clean. At the moment, I'm kind of torn what optical drive I might put in it. And in fact, at the moment, I might just not put an optical drive in it. So, there's that. But anyways, yeah. Motherboard restored. Picked out the sound card for it. Got the hard drive formatted and PC-DOS 6.3 installed, because that's what the chat poll voted to install PC-DOS 6.3. Played a very short command Planet X3 just to show that, yep, sound card works and everything's working, and little benchmark to show that, yeah, this is a quite nice system. So I think if I had to rate the system, IBM's choice of going with the S3 Trio 64 video chip and actually putting system cache on the board, unlike Packard Bell. Very, very nice system. And I think it will be a nice complement to my DOS systems of several various vintages. And I'm kind of leaning towards maybe actually at some point, I may actually put a different hard drive in here for longer term, because I'm actually kind of been debating in the back of my mind of maybe dual booting this system, because I think the system could be a pretty cool, like Windows 95 and... Oh, that could be cool. Like a Windows 95 and then an OS2 Warp dual boot system. Ooh. That might be a cool future idea. Alright, DTM Ace 1 says foaming glass cleaner works pretty well too. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Anyways, we are verging on 12:30, so, and I do have to work tomorrow. So I will say to remind you to smash that like button, subscribe and turn on notifications, because December is in full swing. Jeremy's suggesting I'd go to Windows 98 Second Edition. I will probably go to Windows 98 Second Edition on a different computer. I am not going to... I don't necessarily want to have Windows 98 Second Edition on everything, because sometimes I need to remind myself of how bad Windows was. Windows 98 Second Edition actually wasn't too bad, actually. Because that was kind of peak Windows 9X was the Second Edition. So, yeah. So, thanks, Jack68K. So, yeah, subscribe, turn on notifications, smash that like button, leave me a comment if there's, like, something that's like, oh, I think this would be great to do on the IBM. Or it's like, nope, I wouldn't have put that overdrive in it. I would have picked this sound card. It's like, I think dual booting OS2 Warp and something else is a great idea. Yeah, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. So, next week, I haven't totally decided what I'm going to do for December, but Jeremy says, Windows 98 First Edition was bad. Yeah, it was kind of it feels incomplete. I know why Microsoft did Windows 98 Second Edition and only charged like $30 for the upgrade from First Edition. Because, Windows 98 First Edition was, it was pretty bad. So, anyways, I think next week I'm inclined to... I've got a couple Tandys, one of which you've seen. The 1400 HD I did have on the stream for Septandy, but I have two other Tandys I bought that are in parts condition. And I'm thinking of, at least for one of the streams next week, it's just going to be like a V20 stream, because the Tandy 1400 used V20s. And quite honestly, I'd like to see if maybe I could get one of them running. But that is assuming that I can find the proper things to power them up. Otherwise, yeah, Jeremy, I have XTs, but one of them, I disassembled the power supply, and I'm not sure I'm going to put it back together until I recap it, because of how painful it will be to reassemble. Although I could power the board up with the standard AT power supply. I think the pinout's the same, but I do, though, have that computer, and I've got a video card that needs repaired that will probably go in that computer. If the oscillator arrives, then that could be a candidate for next week as well. Yeah, DTM Ace 1 really wants to get rid of that 4100 MT Tandy motherboard. Yeah, it's a cool motherboard, but yeah, at this particular moment, I already have enough things to do in December. My problem is deciding what I want to work on and waiting for the few things that, as an eBay seller let me know today when I bought a part for one of my Macs, they sent me a message like, I dropped it off at the post office. By the way, the post office is taking longer to ship things these days. And I was like, yeah, tell me about it. The one oscillator I haven't received yet for the video card, the USPS is already admitting in the tracking information that's running late because, well, it's in transit at the next facility running late because it was supposed to be delivered, like, according to their tracking, I think it was supposed to be delivered, I don't know, earlier this week. It's running late. And don't get me started on the seller that I bought something from. They, like, printed the shipping label almost immediately. And eBay was telling me I'd have the item Well, at this point, because of what time it is, yesterday. But they haven't even shipped it yet, as far as I can tell. So don't get me started on that. So if you see my cheap PC challenge video and I build it in a cardboard box, well, yeah, you'll know I haven't received that item yet. But anyways, I think that's about it. So hopefully if some of those items from eBay will come in, it'll help me better decide what order to put things in. Because let's just say I'd kind of thought before December I was going to do like 8088s, like your XT era, then like your 286s, and then 386s, and then like 486s. And then I realized how many weeks December actually had this month. And then I realized that I'm waiting for parts that should have already been here. So, whatever. Yes, DTM Ace 1, you definitely were on the ball. You packed it well. You shipped it promptly. Yes. I'm running into problems where sellers with high feedback ratings that seem like they are still actively selling stuff, and it's not like some zombie account that someone recovered the password on and just started selling stuff. It's like, I see all this feedback. They ship promptly, and yet they've been sitting on my item for a week. Like, what gives? I don't know. I was watching a video from another eBay seller that actually just lives down in Bedford, and the caption of their video was, "Is eBay dying?" And I couldn't help to think, but it's like, yeah, that's a good question. I've been having trouble with sellers lately that just, like, I've had it happen a lot where the label gets printed and then silence. It's like, and then it just randomly gets mailed. I'm like, okay. You know, your handling time was like less than that? I don't know. I've even bought some things where the seller just never did anything, and I'm like, okay. If you're going to stop selling on eBay, you want to maybe just take all your items down first? I don't know. Yeah, it's like, yeah. It's only been like the past year or so where I've started having a lot of problems with buying things on eBay. Not just the things where I buy that I later regret, but like the things you never see because it never even shipped. I've had to open a number of cases with eBay that like, and it's annoying too, because I can look at the item and I've waited like a week or two just to make sure that it's not like in transit and they didn't scan it. And then of course you have to open the case on eBay, and then eBay lets them have a couple days to respond. But if they haven't mailed it already, are they going to respond? And then, yeah, they never respond, surprisingly enough. And then I end up having to like escalate it to eBay, and then finally they usually just like within 15 minutes are like, yeah, we've closed this in your favor, here's your refund. It's like, you think you could have maybe optimized this process a little, because this person, it's like, I think this is a zombie account. But anyways. Sloopy says, don't get me started on eBay. Well then, actually, probably what I'd better do before I just keep rambling on and then find it's time to go to work is I'd probably better put my finger on the button here on OBS. Thank you all for joining me. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time, and until then, take care!